Here's why Robert Kiyosaki just started dominating your YouTube feed seamlessly out of nowhere. This month, Robert has gotten 94 million impressions. His face has been on your homepage 94 million times and seen over 3.6 million. I started working with Robert a few months ago, and I'm gonna go over the exact strategy we used to take him from go under 1 million views per month to well over 3.5 million when we just recently started work together. The strategy for Robert's channel is actually very simple, and unfortunately, probably won't work for you watching this video. But I am going to explain how anyone can take the concepts of strategy that we're using for Robert's channel and implement it to your own. The strategy for all of my clients starts the exact same. First, you have to understand who is the ideal target audience. For Robert, it's people interested in financial education. So this is an incredibly huge, very broad niche. First step is the idea formula, how to brainstorm viral ideas for Robert that have a massive TAM. What I do, because my business model is two fronts. One, I'm going to get the maximum views humanly possible while saving large businesses as much time. Right now, Robert allocates probably 3 to 4 hours per month filming. And so we don't have much time. So when we're thinking of strategies, what's going to get the maximum results for the least amount of effort in terms of Robert's time spent? And so what I do, I look through all of his past books, all of his past interviews, all of the videos that he's done over the years and years of him being on the internet, and finding the most impactful points and then creating video topics around that. For example, Robert was talking in one of his videos before so I'll find the most impactful moments from Robert and structure those as questions, because Robert can nail this off very, very quickly. If I ask Robert, can you explain why debt is good? He is going to be able to talk for 10 minutes on that subject, and then I'm going to continue to ask more and more follow-up questions with me thinking of the end viewer in mind, thinking what pieces of information do I need to understand in terms of being an actual engaged viewer. For Robert or for anyone else, the first step you have to do is find what is your unique edge. Robert's unique edge is a multitude of fronts. One, his book sold 40 million plus copies. He's one of the most well-known and highly facial recognizable person in the finance space in human history. Just about every single person in the finance space knows what Robert's face looks like. So we use that to our advantage. In terms of packaging for titles and thumbnails, I'm not doing the same strategy I'll do for someone that no one knows about. Everybody knows who Robert is. Other people use Robert as social proof, so all we're doing is leveraging that and making very simple title and thumbnails that would probably not work for you on the other side of the screen, but they do work for Robert because he's so widely known and people care what he has to say. Super broad subjects don't work for people that no one cares about. If you have a business that does $10,000 per month and tried to make the same video, let's say this one, it's so fucking easy to get rich, that Robert did that got well over 1 million views, it would completely fail because no one knows that you're extremely fucking rich and they don't care what you have to say about that. So it's a mixture of using Robert's unique credibility that people really care what he has to say and leveraging that at mass scale. But how can someone on the other side of the screen do the exact same thing? But how can you on the other side of the screen thinking about what video ideas and what content to make for yourself and exacerbate your channel and actually get more clients for your business? One is you have to understand your unique edge. You have to be objective with yourself on the pros and cons of your personal skill sets, talents, your credibility. Are you incredible at storytelling? Robert is one of the best storytellers in the entire world, so we try and leverage that and ask personal stories from his life as much as possible. Are you particularly funny? How can you leverage that in your video so people actually enjoy watching you more? Are you researching things deeply? This is things that you have to be objective about with yourself and lean into your unique credibility or edge that you have. And then you have to understand your demographics. When I said we are hypercritical of who Robert's audience is, if most people, if they were trying to make broad business videos, they would completely fail because no one cares about who you are as a person. So who are you trying to reach? If you're just a YouTuber, is your target kids, gamers, business professionals, entertainment? Then you have to break it down what niche inside those subcategories are. Let's say you're targeting business owners. Is it e-com businesses, lawyers, real estate investors? The more specific you can get about your ideal audience, the easier it is to target them and have them watch your audience and actually convert into sales for your business. Hey, let's take an example. If I had a content agency, which I do, I help the really large businesses, and I wanted to get a lawyer as a client, here are some example video ideas that I would do to try and target lawyers watching my videos to have a high converting, basically VSL as a YouTube video. How this lawyer got a $500,000 client from one YouTube video. Another example, how a simple YouTube strategy added $1 million to this law firm this year. So let's just think about that. If I was a lawyer on YouTube and I was looking to get into content, am I gonna watch a video on how to grow a YouTube channel for a business, or am I gonna watch a video on how lawyers are expanding their business through YouTube? I mean, it's an absolute no-brainer. So the more specific you are, the higher converting your YouTube videos are gonna be. This is a completely separate category because Robert is super broad and we can attract millions of people per video and we can funnel them into any product that we want. But I understand that is not applicable for you on the other side of the screen. So we have the packaging and we understand our audience for Robert. We know how we're going to structure these videos, but how do we maximize retention without using much of Robert's time? I mean, look at this retention graph on this video. It's pretty good. We have 30% of people watching at the end of the video, which is not the best of all time, but it's really good for Robert spending 4 hours per month and getting almost 1 million views per video that we've created with him. So how are we maximizing the retention for Robert? One, incorporating as much storytelling as possible. You don't realize how hooked you get when someone is telling a very engaging story about their personal life when you actually care about that person. That is the peak of engulfment, especially when that story has a large payoff at the end. And Robert is an absolute master at storytelling with a good payoff at the end for a tangible lesson that someone can learn. The second is going to be the editing that we're doing is going to be high pace, switching between different camera angles, switching the pacing between different videos, trying to incorporate different scenes within the video without taking up much of Robert's time. Again, I'm hyper obsessive over not taking my clients' time because they are so valuable. And this is one of the unique edges I have when I'm creating these videos with hyper successful people. If you are doing a business that is doing 8 figures per year and you can spend 1 to 2 hours per week making content, but then add another complete marketing leg to your business, doing all 100% organic content and getting the best results humanly possible, it actually generates an extra 7 to 8 figures per year for these businesses. I know that because it's happened time and time again with every single person that I've worked with. So I become irreplaceable to these businesses. What business is going to say, I'm going to stop working with this person that saves me time and makes me a ridiculous amount of money? It just doesn't happen. That's why I'm so hypercritical of the clients that I have. I mean, it's easy for me to get clients. It's hard for me to find the perfect ideal fit where I want to work with this person, they want to work with me. All right, so how can you actually apply this where I'm well over triple the amount of views per month that Robert is doing? The big thing is understanding your edge in your audience. If you're running marketing for any business, for any product, for anything, the first thing you do is nail down who your target audience is. And then how do you create a video that is going to impact that person to the highest degree possible? For Robert, he has very broad business books. He sells board games. He sells other courses for people that are looking to get out of the rat race. So his audience is incredibly large. I'm guessing if you have a business, your audience is not as large as that. When you couldn't, if 1 million people watched one of your videos and you got 1,000 leads, inbound leads for your business, could you even service that? I mean, it depends on the business model that you have. With the strategy for Robert is very different than it is for another one of my clients, Ken McElroy, who has a multi-billion-dollar real estate business. We've completely revolutionized his organic content structure. And if you want to find out how exactly the step-by-step what we're doing for Ken, that might actually be more applicable to you. You can watch that video here.